Every year, millions of animals across the planet try to find love. Some bring flowers, some write songs, some show up with dinner. And we think that's a lot of effort. We really do. We congratulate ourselves for texting back within the hour, for making a reservation, for putting on a nice shirt. But then there's the rest of the animal kingdom, and they are doing things extraordinary, ridiculous, deeply committed things that make every human romantic gesture look lazy by comparison. We're talking about creatures that spend weeks building architecture, creatures that perform choreographed dances with the energy of someone whose entire survival depends on it, because it does. Creatures that have evolved over millions of years into the most extra, most dramatic, most jaw-dropping daters on the planet. This is Weird Mating Rituals. The bird of paradise. Fashion week, but make it feathers. Let's start in the rainforests of New Guinea, where evolution apparently decided that subtlety was for losers. Meet the bird of paradise. There are over 40 species of them, and every single one looks like it was designed by someone who was given no budget restrictions and absolutely zero creative notes. We're talking iridescent feathers that reflect ultraviolet light, bright blue skulls, tail plumes that spiral and curl like something out of a dream. Colors so vivid, so impossibly saturated that early European explorers who received these birds as gifts assumed the skins had been artificially dyed. They hadn't been. That's just what this bird looks like. And the bird of paradise doesn't just look extraordinary, it performs. Take Wilson's bird of paradise. Before he even thinks about finding a female, this bird clears his stage. He finds a small patch of forest floor and he cleans it meticulously. Every leaf, every twig, every fallen piece of debris, gone, because he needs his performance space to be perfect. Then he positions himself on a branch above it, waits for a female to arrive, and when she does, he transforms. He spreads his wings, he fans his iridescent chest plumage into a shimmering disc, he twists his body upside down, revealing his bright blue skull, and he holds the pose, frozen, as if to say, "Look at this, look at all of this. I have been preparing for this moment." The greater bird of paradise takes a slightly different approach. He gathers with other males in a communal display tree, a structure called a lek, where multiple birds perform simultaneously, competing for female attention. He fans out an enormous cascade of golden-orange flank feathers, like a ball gown exploding in slow motion, and bounces, rhythmically, persistently, with absolutely unshakable conviction. And then the female arrives. She lands. She watches. She moves closer, then further away, then closer again. She is evaluating every single detail, the quality of the plumage, the precision of the movement, the energy of the performance. She has been doing this her whole life, and she knows exactly what she's looking for. Sometimes she chooses, and sometimes she just flies away. No signal, no feedback, no explanation, just gone. And the male watches her go. And then, because this is nature, and nature doesn't do self-pity, he resets and waits for the next one. Hours of preparation, weeks of evolution compressed into a single performance, and the female might not even stay to watch the whole thing. If that's not the most relatable thing you've heard today, I don't know what is. The Peacock Mantis Shrimp. Love at the speed of a bullet. Now we're going underwater, specifically to the warm, shallow reefs of the Indo-Pacific, where one of the most visually remarkable animals on Earth is also, somehow, one of the most violent romantics. This is the Peacock Mantis Shrimp. And before we talk about its love life, we need to talk about how it sees the world. Because the Peacock Mantis Shrimp has 16 types of photoreceptors in its eyes. Humans have 3. That means this creature perceives colors, wavelengths, and dimensions of light that are so far beyond our sensory experience that we genuinely cannot imagine what its visual world looks like. Scientists have tried to model it. They've largely concluded it's incomprehensible to the human mind. The mantis shrimp isn't just seeing a coral reef, it's seeing something we will never have access to. And it uses this extraordinary vision to find a mate. The Peacock Mantis Shrimp's mating ritual begins with real estate. A male finds a burrow, a crack in the reef, a hollow in the rock, and he claims it. Then he makes it his. He excavates, decorates, defends. The burrow is not just a home, it's a signal. A well-maintained burrow tells a female, this male has strength, has resources, has staying power. It says, I am worth your time. And then, if a rival male tries to move in, the mantis shrimp does what mantis shrimp do. It punches. Its raptorial claw accelerates faster than a bullet leaving a gun, reaching speeds of 50 miles per hour in water. The strike generates cavitation bubbles that release a shockwave even if the claw misses. It can break the shells of crabs and clams. It has shattered aquarium glass multiple times in different aquariums around the world. This is how the mantis shrimp says, "This is mine. She is mine. Come back and I will hit you so hard that the water itself will hurt you." It's not subtle, but it works. The Pufferfish Architect. 7 days, 6 feet, 1 fish. Now we need to talk about the pufferfish because this is the one. This is the story that once you hear it, you will tell it to everyone you know. At dinner parties, at work, in the middle of conversations that have nothing to do with fish, you will bring it up. Trust me. In 1995, divers off the southern coast of Japan began finding mysterious circular patterns on the seafloor. They were geometric, radial ridges emanating from a center point, intricate and symmetrical, roughly 6 feet in diameter. They appeared seemingly overnight. They were found in multiple locations, and scientists had no explanation. Local divers called them underwater crop circles. Some people naturally blamed aliens. For 16 years, no one knew what made them. Then, in 2011, a team of divers and biologists finally caught the culprit in the act, and it was a pufferfish, a white-spotted pufferfish specifically, 5 inches long, roughly the size of your fist, a fish so small it barely registers as significant, and yet, over the course of 7 to 9 days, this fish, alone, using nothing but its fins and its body, creates a 6-foot geometric mandala in the sand. It swims in precise, repeating patterns, carving ridges and valleys with extraordinary consistency. It decorates the raised edges of the pattern with fragments of shell and coral, carefully selected, carefully placed, which make the design glitter as light filters through the water. It adjusts, it refines. If a current disturbs a section, the fish repairs it. The whole structure is, by any reasonable definition, a work of art. But here's where it stops being merely beautiful and starts being genius. The completed mandala is not just decorative. The raised ridges around the circumference break ocean currents, creating a calm, protected zone at the center of the pattern. The center itself, where the ridges are lowest, where the sand is finest, is the softest, most protected patch of seafloor for some distance in any direction. The fish didn't just build something pretty. It built an incubator, a nursery, engineered to protect eggs from the turbulence of the open ocean. And when a female arrives and inspects the design, she is not just admiring the aesthetics, she is evaluating the engineering. She examines the symmetry, the shell decorations, the fineness of the sand at the center. She takes her time. She is thorough. She has every right to be. The quality of this structure will determine the survival odds of her offspring. If she approves, she lays her eggs in the center, and the male guards them until they hatch. A 5-inch fish, 7 days, 6 feet of geometric precision for one shot at passing on his genes. This is the most committed anyone has ever been to a first date. The Flamingo Flash Mob. 1,000 birds, 0 chill. By this point, you might be thinking, okay, these are all remarkable, but they're still individual animals doing individual things. What could possibly be more extreme than building a 6-foot sand mandala by yourself? How about doing it with 1,000 of your closest friends, simultaneously, in perfect synchronization, with no rehearsal? Welcome to the Flamingo Courtship Display. Flamingos do not court individually. There is no quiet candlelit dinner, no private walk on the beach. When flamingo mating season arrives, the entire colony, sometimes hundreds of birds, sometimes thousands, begins to move together. And when we say together, we mean together. Synchronized, like a single organism made of thousands of pink bodies. The head flag. Every bird snaps its head sharply to one side, then the other, in unison. The wing salute. Wings spread simultaneously across the whole colony in one fluid wave. The march. Thousands of flamingos stride in the same direction, pivoting as a collective, turning when the group turns, with no visible signal, no audible command. Scientists have studied this behavior for decades, and the synchronization is still not fully understood. There is no leader. There is no signal that researchers can detect. The birds simply know. They are reading each other through some combination of visual cues and collective awareness that we haven't fully cracked. The flock thinks as one, moves as one, courts as one. And within this sweeping, spectacular, thousand-bird performance, individual flamingos are still making individual choices. A female watches the males around her. A male positions himself to be seen. Amid all the synchronized chaos, two birds find each other. They pair. They build a nest. They raise a chick together, usually for the season, sometimes longer. The whole species does this enormous, beautiful, bewildering thing together, so that two birds can find each other in the middle of it. It is, somehow, the most extroverted and the most intimate thing in nature.
The Peacock Spider. 8 eyes, infinite confidence. We've talked about birds, we've talked about fish, we've talked about shrimp. Now we need to talk about a spider. Specifically, a spider the size of a grain of rice that is pound for pound the most confident creature on this list. The peacock spider, genus Muratus, is native to Australia, which should surprise no one because Australia is a continent that seems to specialize in producing animals that are either trying to kill you or putting on a show. The peacock spider is firmly in the second category. It is, by objective measure, one of the most visually spectacular animals in the world relative to its size. Its abdomen is covered in iridescent scales, reds, blues, oranges, whites, arranged in patterns that vary between species but are always, without exception, extraordinary. Some species have patterns that look like peacock feathers, some look like targets, some look like paintings. And the male peacock spider knows exactly what he has. When a female is nearby, he raises his abdomen flap, the equivalent of opening a tiny, furry, iridescent cape, and begins to dance. The dance is specific, it is practiced. It involves rapid lateral movements, precise leg raises, and full body vibrations that the spider produces at specific frequencies. Some species wave their third pair of legs in the air like they're conducting an orchestra. All of them move with a focus and precision that at this scale is almost surreal to watch. This creature has 8 eyes, and it is using all of them to track the female's response in real time, adjusting its performance based on her reactions. And the stakes could not be higher, because if the female peacock spider is not impressed, she doesn't just leave, she might eat him. This is not a metaphor. Female peacock spiders are larger than males and are predators by nature. A male who misjudges his timing, who approaches too soon or performs poorly, can become lunch. The performance is not just about attraction, it is a survival event. He knows this, in whatever way a spider can be said to know anything, and he dances anyway. 5 millimeters tall, the weight of a raindrop, dancing like everything depends on it, because it does, and he does it anyway, every time. That is the most heroic thing on this list. What nature taught us about dating. So, what have we learned? We've learned that a bird will spend months growing feathers it will use for exactly one performance. That a fish will spend a week sculpting a building it will live in for less than a day before the ocean reclaims it. That a shrimp will cultivate property and defend it with the force of a firearm. That 1,000 birds will move as one mind so that 2 of them can fall in love. That a creature the size of a sesame seed will risk its life to do a dance because the dance is the whole point. Nature doesn't hedge. Nature doesn't hold back. Nature doesn't send a half-written text and wait to see if someone responds before committing to the bit. Nature goes all in, every time, with everything. Go all in, build the circle, do the dance, wear the feathers. Be so specific, so detailed, so completely and unapologetically yourself that the right one can't look away. Not because you're perfect, but because you showed up and did the thing, fully, without reservation, and they saw it. And if that doesn't work, punch things until someone falls in love with you. That apparently works too. The pufferfish swims slow through the center of his mandala. The ocean moves gently around him. He does not know if she will come back. He keeps swimming the pattern anyway.